NZ Warriors off-season footy yarns today. We're talking the 2025 round one predicted lineups for Las Vegas. To start out with, I'll give you who I think Webby will pick, and then I'll give you the lineup I'd personally love to choose if I was given the opportunity. So to start out with Webby's lineup, I think it's going to be a little bit predictable. It's going to be very experienced, and it may well piss a few people off, but I think this is who he'll go for. Chance at fullback. I think he's going to go for the tried and true there. We know how fit Chance is. We know how many metres he gets. We know he's a leader amongst this team. So I'm pretty sure that Webby's going to go for him at number 1. On the right-hand side, Rocco Berry and Dallin Watene-Zelezniak back together after Rocco's injury. I feel like they're a proven combination that Webby will trust. We know that Rocco's got the best kick chase in the game and one of the best defending centres in the comp, so those two are a lock for me. On the left-hand side, I'm not 100% sure about the centres. I feel like it's a bit of a lottery between Adam Pompey and Ali Lautoa, but Ali's performance in that final game of 2024 against the Sharks showed us what he's really made of. So I think that performance gives him a slight edge and gets him the starting jersey come round 1 in 2025. Outside him, I think RTS will take Marcelo Montoya's jersey and be our starting left wing. In the halves, I think Tanner Boyd starts out at halfback. We brought him over for his kicking game, his experience. I don't think he would have come to play cup. By all accounts, he's carving it up in pre-season. Absolute machine when it comes to his work ethic and his fitness, so I feel like he's going to start at 7. Outside him, Luke Metcalf. His speed, his X factor will get him the nod ahead of Tamaiti Martin. So to the forwards, front row, Mitch Barnett, Wade Egan, James Fisher-Harris. I don't think there'll be too much conjecture about that one. On the edges, I think he's going to go for the tried and true in Kurt Capewell and Marata Niukore. And at lock, this is another position I'm not 100% sure on. I think he's going to start with Tohu. He's his captain. He rates him. He's a leader. But I'm still not 100% sure which one of him and Walker gets a start. But I'm going to predict that he does go for Tohu. That means on the bench, I think we'll see Aaron Clark, Dylan Walker, Jackson Ford, and Dimitrik Vaimaga is my pick to get the 17th jersey. Could also potentially be Tom Ale. I think he's going to go for both Dylan Walker and Aaron Clark because of their speed. I think he's going to go for an up-tempo game, playing really fast through the middle. Now, onto the lineup I would personally like to see. So I'm going to make a really tough call at fullback. I love seeing K. He's the epitome of a warrior. He gives it 1,000% every time. He's coming straight out of the Kiwis. How do you drop him? But I feel like this is a position we have to have a look at the future. Chance is in his last year of his contract. RTS is starting to wear down a bit. I don't know if you want him playing fullback for the next couple of years. So Taine Tuaupiki gets a shot for me. If I was a coach, I wouldn't be saying this publicly, but I'd be saying to Taine, right, you've got 8 weeks. Prove to me that you're the man going forward. Prove to me that you can deliver with a really strong team around you, and this jersey will be yours. I feel like Taine's got the potential to do it. I think we're in the age of that fast, small, elusive fullback. He's got all of those characteristics. Probably not quite as quick as a guy like Kenny, but he's got some great ball-playing skills. He's got a great kicking game. We've seen him be able to drive a team around at cup level. We know he can kick goals at the NRL level when called upon, so he gets a shot for me. Centres and the wings, I'm going for the same as Webby. Rocco Berry, Dallin Watene-Zelezniak on the right. I just think they're one of the best right-hand combinations in the comp. I have massive raps on Rocco Berry. You guys have known this for a while, and I think Dallin goes in there without question. But on the left, I do struggle with making this decision. Adam Pompey is just so durable. He does a job. He's very consistent. He added a lot of aggression to his running in 2024. He got that fend working. He's got that great late step. He gets shit about his defense, but he's actually got one of the highest tackling efficiencies in the comp. But Ali Lautoa's X factor, his strength and his aggression that we saw against the Sharks in the final round of 2024, I think it's his time. RTS, you can't have a guy on that sort of money starting out in cup. But if he gets injured, we've got some quality young players who can come up and take that position. But he may struggle to get back. But he gets the nod to start out for me on the left wing. In the halves, I'm going for the same as Webby. Tanner Boyd, I think we'll see some really interesting things from him. I feel like he's got a lot of the base skills, but he was a victim of the Gold Coast chopping and changing with their halves a lot. I think if Webby gives him the confidence to take that 7 jersey and run with it, he's got a great kicking game, he's fast, he'll do all of the fundamentals and allow Luke Metcalf to be the creative player. I know Luke really wants to play 7, but I'd like to see them play a bit of a hybrid role, get Luke involved ball playing on both sides of the field, using his speed, running off the hooker through the ruck. I think there's a lot of opportunities there, so I hope he can stay healthy in 2025. I'm going for the same Mitch Barnett, Wade Egan, and James Fisher-Harris. I don't think anyone's questioning that. For the back row, I'm going to go for Kurt Capewell and Jackson Ford. I want both of those guys to play 80 minutes. We know Jackson just keeps going. A lot of people will be worried about his hands and the discipline, but I feel like Webby's got to have worked on that in the offseason. I want to give him that chance because if those two guys can play 80 minutes, that frees us up to use all our interchanges through the middle. I want to maintain a really fresh and energetic middle, fatigue their forwards, and that will open up things for our backs. At lock, I'm going for Dylan Walker. A lot of people gave Tamati Martin all the credit for that 3-game winning streak we had starting at Magic Round. But when I went back and watched those 3 games over the past couple of weeks, it was Dylan Walker who was creating and putting together a lot of those plays, controlling the flow. So I feel like he's a guy you've got to have out there. He's got speed, he's got aggression and line speed. I'd give him the start at 13. Off the bench, I'm going to go for Clark as my utility. Then I have Tohu Harris and Maratania Kore as my bench props. A lot of size, a lot of experience there. I want them to be able to hold the middle when Fish and Mitch come off. And like with Webby's team, I've gone for Dimitri Vaiamaga as my 17. As I said, I feel like Webby's going for that direct, fast game through the middle to fatigue the opposition forwards, playing a similar way to the Panthers did against the Storms in the grand final, shifting their big forwards from right to left. That opens things up, allows us to get momentum and gives our backs a bit of space. But the key to this, we've got to be a lot more clinical in everything we do. We've got to be a lot more ruthless and resilient in our defense. We can't let back-to-back tries in 2025. That's what killed us this year. We'd start our game strong. We'd get a try scored against us. We'd drop our heads, and then the next thing we know, we're 2 or 3 tries down and we're chasing the game. We can't have that in 2025. I feel like a lot of people are being pessimistic about the Warriors. I don't think anyone in Australia gives us any kind of chance. Similarly, a lot of our fans don't think we have either. And this is based on our best starting lineup. We don't have the same X factor that a lot of the big clubs do, but what we do have is depth. There are very few clubs across the NRL that can say they've got 2, 3, 4 players capable of stepping up in first grade in every position across the field. We've got CNK, RTS, Tain Tuolpiki, Dallin Watene-Zelezniak who can play fullback. On the wings, we've got young guys like Motu Pasikala, Sio Kali. We've still got Ed Kossi there. Moala Graham Tolfa can play on the wing. We've got young Ami Tuanai from the Panthers who's come across. We've got depth on the wings. In the centres, you've got MGT and you've got Adam Pompey if they're not in your starting team. You've also got RTS who can go there if needed. You've got CNK who can play there if needed. There's depth there. In the halves, if you lose Tanner or Metcalf, you bring in Tamati Martin or Chanel Harris-Davida, both highly experienced guys. You've still got Luke Hanson in the mix as well. Then you get into the forwards. If you get into the props, Banti Afoa, Tomale, Zion Mai'u, Tanner Stowers-Smith, Toby Crosby, Edi Iremia Toiava. Then you get into hooker, Sam Hiri. That guy's an absolute gun in the making. Freddie Lussick. The young fellas, Tofura and Aoloa. Back row, you've got Jacob Lagerman, Lekar Halasima, Edi Iremia Toiava, Maya Sands. So much depth there. Lock, Kalani going. You've got Dimitri who can cover lock. You've got Tohu who can cover lock. You've got Clark who can cover lock. So much depth in every single position. So that, to me, is what gives me the confidence that we can go deep into 2025. I'm hoping for top 6 or better, but we've got to at least make them 8 to keep up this momentum and in the following of the club. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Who does Webby pick as his starting 17? And what differences would you make if you were able to pick the team yourself? Thank you all again for your support and engagement in 2024. It's been outstanding chatting with you all. Look forward to having you all back in 2025. Hopefully we can start out strong so we can get hyped, maintain that excitement and momentum into the finals in 2025. Let's go the mighty New Zealand Warriors.